Okay, now that I've got the good news that my computer build has been successful, I can see this particular screen. Let's have a look at each of the sections in the BIOS. So the BIOS has got some information to just tell me that my motherboard has been detected and that it's got 4 gigs worth of processor running, and I've got the 8 gig memory where it says the DDR3. That's obviously referring to the RAM chips that I've installed. Now, if you look below here, where it says the DRAM status, that's referring to the 2 sticks of RAM that I've got installed, which I referred to earlier. So that's detecting, seems to be all right. And if we now go to the fan profile, you can see that I've got 5 fans which seem to be working, and it's telling me the revolutions per minute that they're currently turning at. So each of the headers, which are actually described on the motherboard, it says ASST1 or 2, and each of these is referring to the fan headers on the motherboard where I've connected each of the fans to those. So it's just showing that they seem to be healthily running along, which is great. Now if we come towards the middle of the screen, it says SATA information. So remember, SATA is about the type of connector that you have between the hardware in terms of the computer. Like, for example, here is the hard drive that I bought, and that's the SATA hard drive and the hard disk that I've got, and this is the DVD drive which I've installed at the top of my computer, and then this is my solid state hard drive as well, and that seems to be all being recognized, which is great. So we've just got a graph here of the fan kind of optimized at 100% and it's running. And if I wanted to modify the speeds, I'd need to buy a fan controller. At the moment I've got the fans connected directly to the motherboard through the fan header, and it's basically going all out at the moment. So if we go to the right hand side here, we've got this bit which says the EZ system tuning. Now if I look at that, it says power saving at the moment, and if I click enter onto that, it says normal, and that's how I'll have it probably for now. And if I hit it again, it says ASUS optimal. This refers to overclocking the system. It will mean that it should increase the actual speeds of the memory and the processor to overclock it. That is to increase the speed of the processor using more power and getting it to run faster, and that's why you should have a liquid cooler installed on your computer, because then as the higher speed starts to kick in, then the liquid cooler is reducing the temperature on the processor to be able to carry out those instructions and run efficiently. So to the last bit here, where it says the boot priority, it's looking for where you're going to install your operating system. So at the moment I've got up here at the top that if I were to put in a disk for an operating system like Microsoft Windows, or if I was feeling adventurous, something like Linux, which is open source, then it might detect the CD or DVD that I've burned to be able to install the software from there. Underneath that, you can see that this is the hard drive. So this is the SATA hard drive disk that I installed earlier, and that's in the order of those two. So we want actually the DVD disk to be at the top there, because if I were to install a operating system, it will search from that location first.